Peace unto you. Peace unto you. Welcome to Secrets of the Soul. Secrets of the Soul is us hopping in 20, 30 minutes. I know a few of them have been long, but primarily that's the foundation unless Source guides us to make it longer. About 20, 30 minutes. We speak on today's theme. None of these are planned. When I get the energy and Source is like, channel this for the people, then we show up. Because God just cares about us showing up. Source, A.K.A. God. Today is about spiritual baggage. For all that are new, peace unto you. My name is Nadiie Black. Peace unto you. I see Jeff. Everybody, Jeff is one of the ones that guided me to take this to technology. So thank you so much, Nadiie. Today we're speaking about spiritual baggage. We also have some very, very, very loving information to give you all in regards to our mystery school. So before we really dive deep into today's theme, understand that if you are interested in changing the world, if you're interested in saving children, if you're interested in stopping dark agendas, you can join our mystery school. Click the link in our bio. It will take you to a link tree and you'll be able to join our mystery school. Before you do, though, DM me 33 and I will give you our free 3-day course, because if you aren't willing to implement at least 3 days with God while you're trying to join a mystery school. One thing with the 3-day course, though, is we've added another tier, cheaper tier for all of those that are, interested in this transcending process. We actually call it transcending before taking that big leap into the full aspect, the spirit warrior of what a mystery school that we present is about. So we added that tier. That tier gives us access to the community chats, because a part of community is bringing forth unison and dialogue. So our priority is giving some affordable options to bring forth this unity and dialogue. We'll be having exclusive live streams for the mystery school. So DM me 33 if you're interested. I will give you our free 3-day course, and then you can join the mystery school after. Now there's a cheaper tier for you to get into, so you can at least get that power. Yes, Jesus, A.K.A. Yeshua, loves everybody beyond what religion may offer. Understand that today is about spiritual baggage. What is spiritual baggage? It has a lot to do with previous lifetimes, genetic lineage, and the things that we choose to enable. So the three things: spiritual lifetimes, genetic lineage, and what you choose to enable. Your lifetimes, your past lifetimes, your genetic lineage, where you come from, not just in this vessel, but when we do memory regression, we will see that, when you were a Pleiadian, or when you were of this system or that system, you had specific ideologies and ways and characteristics that carried over. Science even calls this junk DNA. This stuff is scientifically proven. What science understood is there's something called junk DNA within your DNA, and this junk, quote unquote, junk DNA has memories of a life that you no longer live today. For example, if you were a cook, in your junk DNA, you could have been a professional swimmer. So on some level, we figured out that your love for water has been masterful, but let's say you haven't been around water. We understand that this is of another lifetime. So spiritual baggage. Spiritual baggage is things that get carried over into this lifetime. So get that in your mind. So our priority is to transmute. Our priority is transmuting this baggage of the spirit nature, of this etheric nature. See, spiritual baggage, the word baggage, is more etheric based. So what we are going to be focused on today is to use some techniques that you can utilize right now in order to become aware. So make sure y'all like the live, y'all share the live, like the live, share the live, because we are going to be giving some very beautiful techniques to become aware of your spiritual baggage. Contrary to popular belief, there is no one technique or one thing that is a cure all. Do not allow any master to manipulate you into believing that, oh, if you do this, your life will be better. That is a fallacy. See, what techniques, any form of modality is to bring your awareness to a particular something. Well, in this case, spiritual baggage. So the techniques that we will use as a group today is for you to be aware. When you use these techniques, you may feel light, you may feel itching sensations on your hands, on your nose, on your body, on your crown. You will feel lighter, you will feel kind of ticklish, maybe cold. You will notice all of this energy. This is about noticing, this is about being aware. When we go through these techniques, then you'll ask yourself some questions. So, before we dive deep into it, know that all of our lives, because we went live earlier today, all of our lives will be posted on our YouTube page. Click the link in the bio, click Nadiie Black's Guidance, and it will take you to that. You can join our mystery school there, but DM me 33 if you're interested, because why would you try to join a mystery school if you can't dedicate at least 3 days to God, period. And in the mystery school, we added a cheaper tier so you can get access to the community chat and our dedicated live streams for the mystery school only. All right. So, share the live, like the live. Let's get this to all the people that serve and see this as serving. Right now, I need everybody on the count of 3 to take one deep breath. Everybody on the count of 3, take one deep breath. 1, 2, 3. Breathe in. Hold it. Exhale. Inhale. Hold it. Exhale. Inhale once more. Inhale. I need everybody to bring your mind to a time on earth in this lifetime where you felt this experience isn't for me. Bring your life, bring your mind to a point in this existence, in this vessel, where you've said, this doesn't serve for me. Maybe you don't like mushrooms, so the time that you tried a mushroom, it's like, oh, this is nasty. Anytime in this life, bring your mind right now to a time where you was like, this doesn't serve for me. Maybe a relationship, maybe a conversation, maybe a particular food. Now, as your mind is here, make a spiritual note in your mind's eye and say, why do I feel this way right now? Beyond what my initial senses told me, why do I feel this way? We're going to give you a lot of techniques that will help with other techniques. Most of the gifts and modalities that we distribute for you, you will be able to apply to 4, 5, 6, 7 other things. You make a mental note. Why didn't I like this experience beyond? Use this verbiage. Why didn't I like this experience beyond what my senses told me? Why didn't I like this experience beyond what my senses told me? Now, when you bring yourself and your mind to this experience that served not, and you ask yourself that question, why didn't I like this? You note that. And then what you do is you hold on to the experience and you say this prayer. Now say this out loud as well. Source, A.K.A. God, God source, whichever one serves for you. Source, guide me to seeing this experience as you would have me see it. So as this experience is in your mind that served not, you say this prayer, A.K.A. divine statement. God, guide me to seeing this experience as you would have me see it. We will answer questions after we distribute this information. So hold on to your question. If we do not get to it, re-ask it. God, guide me to seeing this experience as you would have me see it. Now, allow that experience to be released from your mind. What we're utilizing is a modality of wonder. See, when wonder is properly used, what humans call manifestation will happen much faster. Again, when wonder is properly used, what humans call manifestation will happen faster. True wonder, true manifestation is putting something out, making that note, that mind's eye note, that mental note, and then letting it flow out gradually. And then what that does is it leaves room for source to come in throughout your life. You may be taking a walk, you may be getting some Tim Hortons, you may be doing something in your routine, and then all of a sudden, boom, epiphany. See, what humans have a issue with is ego and time. The combination of both, ego and time. They want to speed things up, and their ego wants to force source to give it an answer right now. Right now, right now, right now. But depending on the reasoning why anything in your life happened that may not serve, it may not serve for you to understand this answer at that given moment. Maybe later in your life, maybe as you're walking, maybe when you're in a different environment. Because understand that the environment also speaks to your frequency, and based on the environment that you choose to be in when you're utilizing specific techniques, that's why people say make sure your environment is sacred. Your environment will dictate whether something is going to get to you or not. So you have to know how powerful the environment is. That's why your environment must be clean, it must smell good, it must feel good. Because all channeled information, all information from the light realms, the heaven realms, it goes to your environment first and asks your environment for permission first. And then it goes to you, because you are in the environment. Because you and all of us, all humans, some humans, most of them, still think in separation. Because we think of separation, it's me, then the environment, not me and the environment. Because humans don't think they're one with the environment, now God has to first go through the environment and then go to you. So if you are some spiritual bliss bunny, but your environment is some ghetto, nasty, stinky place, if God is in this very loving light energy, the moment it gets to your environment, it's going to stop. See, God doesn't take information back. Once God sends it, it's sent. But now it's waiting for the environment to say, yo, I'm ready. So that's why a lot of people get epiphanies when they're out in nature rather than in their home, if their home is in a sacred space. That's why people will go out in other environments and now, epiphanies. Oh, it makes sense. Revelations. Oh, that's why they can go to church and be, revelations, instead of the information being when their home is, you feel me? Like, the reason is because Source is now talking and trying to transmute your environment. So note this. Wonder. So when we do this technique, and remember, all of these lives will be posted in Nadiie Black's guidance. We're making sure this secret of the soul stays around 30 minutes. We want to get you a technique for you to just utilize right now, and then we'll just go out and you can, dive deep and restudy and integrate it until you no longer need to go outside of yourself, because it's all about coming within. This flows into your environment, spiritual baggage. Your environment is a direct reflection of your frequency. So let's say you want to get a session with me and you want to do some memory regression. You want to figure out where you come from. All I gotta do is tell you what your environment looks like. And because we're going to be on Zoom, so I can be like, right now, take the camera and let me see your environment. And I can see there are certain types of beings and certain types of cultures that live certain types of ways. So I will be able, and the spirit beings and everybody will be able to see how you are based on how your environment is. So sometimes there is some baggage. For example, people that are, and this may shock some, but people that love plants so much, there's still a baggage and an attachment to a lifetime where you were heavily involved within nature. Maybe you were someone who was of a particular tribe. Maybe you were like a gatherer. Maybe you were a farmer. Something of your previous lifetime carried over here per science. Because remember, this is scientifically proven, junk DNA. If you do scientific studies on what junk DNA is, science tells you that there are literal memories and experiences in this junk DNA. They call it junk because they don't want you to pay attention to it. But what they found out was there are memories here. In this particular lifetime, this vessel has not lived those memories. Oh, it's a past lifetime. So now, for example, with plants, yes, it's still a form of spiritual baggage. Yes, it's a form of addiction. So we have to now change our relationship with it. Now, in the terms of plants or whatever serves for you, now utilize an example of plants, I would say shift your positioning. Instead of being so addicted to the idea of I like plants, treat the plants as if they're alive, which they are. Speak to them, pray with them, utilize them in your spiritual, ceremonies and rituals. Involve them. I'm talking even pick them up, involve them. If you're doing prayer circles, put the plants in a circle, hold on to the leaves. Really, these are masterful techniques that the Essenes used. The Essenes are the teachers that taught Jesus. They knew things were sacred, so they treated everything as sacred. So we have to change our relationship with our environment completely. So utilize this. So for example, let's say you're like, okay, well, I have a couch. How can I make my couch sacred in my house? When you conduct a prayer and you're inviting angels, remember the saying that's like, make sure your home, and I'm paraphrasing a little bit, but make your home a place where angels would want to dwell. Well, when you clean your house, you make sure it's sacred, you make sure it smells good and it feels good. Do not just invite angels in your sacred space. Literally give them direction, because angels listen to you. So be like, all right, Archangel Metatron, this seat right here on the couch, you sit there. Okay, Archangel Michael, I'm going to pull up a chair, you sit there. This angel, you sit there. This is how the Essenes operated. If you have friends that coming over to assist you with your prayers and stuff, don't sit right there. Archangel Metatron's right there. They take it very serious. Involve your environment with this spiritual activity. This is what the Essenes did, the teachers that taught Yeshua in a land called Qumran. They did these things. They would have dinner, and it would be quote-unquote empty chairs, but those chairs aren't empty. When you close your eyes and open your mind's eye, you would see angels there. You would see spirit guides, animal totems there. Treat everything as sacred in your environment, and it will be easier for Source to get information to you. Therefore, you don't have to go outside to get epiphanies. You don't have to go to a church to get epiphanies. You will wake up in the temple because you've treated and transmuted your environment into the temple. This is another way of removing spiritual baggage. One other way of removing spiritual baggage is start saying affirming statements for yourself that are true. I am the child of God. Not the one of the child. No. I am the child, because we are all the child of Source. We thought ourselves as separate, but we're technically the child of Source. One person says, spiritual master, please don't say you channel ascendant masters. I can. You can as well. What people must know, channeling simply is saying the truth in any form of expression. You can channel through body language. You can channel through your mouth. We are all one. The people that hyperfixate on this is what I do, that's cute, but everybody can do it. It's not something that's special. I always tell people, if we was to go to heaven, you would see me as an average being in heaven, because we are all equal. The fact that a average being in heaven is now coming on earth as this revered master, that's an issue. I am average there because we're all equal there. So there shouldn't be no, oh, this is so grand, this is so great, this is so... No. I need everybody to understand everything I can do, you can do. Everything Jesus can do, you can do. He even says in his verses, there's a verse you can look up, just type in your Googles, look it up. Jesus saying, you will do what I do and more. Or what he literally says, greater works than I. In order to do what the Christ did, you have to be the Christ. So every master that really is a master, they all say the same thing. They all say the same thing in every religion and every form of spiritual practice. If it's an actual master that is actually of the truth, they will say on some level, oneness is so, I am you, we are one, you are me, we are good. We're all in this together. That's why you got Bob Marley, the One Love movement, all of these things that all ties together, all of the prophets on some level, you will find a verse of them saying we're all connected somehow. So yes, I can channel Ascended Masters because I am Ascended Masters, as are you. You can channel Ascended Masters because you are. So all you're doing is channeling yourself. Now, you say truthful statements. I am the child of God. I am one with all. I have the sight of God. I see as God sees. Say these truthful statements. Regardless of whether you believe them or not, the truth is the truth. In this world, 2 + 2 is 4. In this world, 1 + 1 is 2. It doesn't matter if you don't believe it is. In this world, that is what the truth is. Regardless of what you personally as an individual believe, it's the same thing with spirituality. You are the child of God, regardless of what your vessel and your ego wants you to think and believe. You can diminish yourself all you want. You can say, I am not the child of God. Then why are you saying God is all? Because when I say, and I ask a question saying, do you believe God is all? Most people are going to say yes. Well, look up the definitions you use. Last time I checked, when we use language, we understand language based on the definitions of what these words mean. If we were utilizing words and the definitions were changing for the words, nobody would know what anybody is talking about. So when you say God is all, you look up the definition of all, it means everything. Everything, including you. The moment you say not me, though, you have now limited God. Because all means all. It's an actual fact. So that's how some people get checked, spiritually checked. Because what you mean, God is all, but yet you exclude yourself. You just say God is some. No. So you say these statements, these truthful statements, and what this does is it literally changes the cells in your body on a molecular level. This is alchemy. The people that study alchemy and metaphysics. See, I always say research everything that I say. Don't take nothing I say as truth. Just research it. Research metaphysics. Research all of these things, and you will get the same information. You will understand the power of saying the truth and how it reshapes your entire mind, your brain, your actions, your literal cells. This is widely known practices in metaphysics, saying what the truth is. Now, one powerful prayer you can always utilize is, God, guide me to seeing as you see. That's why we said that for the beginning technique. And you can even take it even further by affirming all that you see as holy. So this salt rock here, I would say, I wouldn't call it a salt rock. I wouldn't label it. See, we have to remove ourselves from descriptions. I would just say, that which I see is holy. And you would do that for everything. This feather with this wolf, that which I see is holy. I wouldn't name it. I wouldn't say feather, this crystal. I wouldn't say crystal. I would say that which I see is holy. You say that throughout your day. You allow your eyes to guide all in your reality to be as holy as it can possibly be. Does it affect it if you name it? Yes. You do not want to name it because names are labels. And these labels, when you go back into its root to who first named it, you would recognize why names are not needed. Because this thing that you think, this word that we utilize to describe this particular thing, is still a fake word that somebody just created. I'm going to call bread. Well, if we wanted to call bread kapui, then if we all called bread kapui back in the day, guess what bread is now called today? Kapui. It's all made up language that people just utilize today. So that's why we're saying, instead of labeling and describing things, just see it as holy. See all as holy, and you'll be able to utilize all as holy. Now, another thing for us to anchor, to remove ourselves from spiritual baggage, is get rid of this idea that separation is so. This idea of good and bad. Remember, there's no right or wrong, no good or bad. There's none of that. There's only what we accept and what we choose to not accept. But what I will accept may not be what you accept. So we have to get out of this idea of duality, because part of what people call the dark's game is to guide you and manipulate you into believing and subscribing to their ideologies. Last time I checked, angels aren't worrying about a hell. Last time I checked, you can't even hate in heaven. Last time I checked, there ain't no fallacies in heaven. There ain't no lies in heaven. Everybody just is of love. You would say there is no right or wrong. What about hurting others? Remember, there is only what we accept and what we choose to not accept, not a right or wrong. If you are a person of love, it's not right or wrong. It's just something you do not accept, the hurting of others. It's just something you don't accept. It doesn't have to be right or wrong. It's just something that you accept or choose to not accept. Now, if you are experiencing something in your life that you do not accept, don't accept it and do not enable it. Do not enable it, meaning do not feed it. Don't feed it by reacting to these things. There are certain laws. For example, in every dimension, in every reality, there are laws in place to handle many, many scenarios. For example, in this dimension, there's laws in place to handle people that do harm to others. All we have to do to remain in oneness is say, in my reality, I do not accept that harming of another per this dimension's laws, because to even enter this dimension, you have to subscribe to its laws or you will be kicked out. So because you know on a soul level, this person that is hurting others subscribe to the laws of this realm, call the police on them. It's simple. It's not a right or wrong. It's not a right or wrong. No, it's just I don't accept that. You subscribe to laws. The law says in this dimension, you do this, this happens. Do this, go to jail. Do this, you get caught up. Okay, cool. It's easy. Don't make things overcomplicated. Don't become the policers and the judgers. There are souls that are assigned to that mission. There are souls that are assigned to that mission. For example, when Buddha and Yeshua was on this planet, they was not out here trying to police people. They was out here delivering what they accept, delivering what they know as truth. And if you were doing anything wrong, well, the law of your land says this happens. So are you a follower of the laws of your land? Yes or no? If they say yes, which most people do, because you wouldn't be able to enter this dimension if you weren't, then cool. If you're doing harm, then you will get caught up and you will go to jail. Simple. Simple. So don't get caught up. Don't waste your energy on people. See, you would be surprised how much dark energy would just dissipate when we stop giving it and feeding it information. You would be surprised at how much dark energy just would dissipate when we stop supporting companies that we know is dark, people that we know is dark. I see this block party thing going on. People are blocking celebrities. That's cool, but take it even a step further. That's cool, but take it even a step further. Yes, block the celebrities. Yes, block their pockets. But know that most celebrities are not just operating on a physical basis. These one-eye societies that they got going on, these sacrifices and stuff. In this now generation, we are now all accustomed to this veil being, revealed. As someone is asking, so you're saying deal with the person, but don't focus on it exactly. But you deal with it by understanding, what do I accept? What do I not accept? If they're doing something I do not accept, it just ends at I do not accept, period. Now, what we do is, based on the law of this dimension, what happens when a person does this action? Based on the law of dimension, if this person hurts another and harms another, there are laws in place that say you are going to go to jail, you're going to go to court, we have police, we have these type of people. There's things that you can do. So if you really want to handle something, just send them to the people that prioritize the handling of people that aren't paying attention and prioritizing the law of the dimension they subscribe to on a soul level. You don't personally become involved with it. You can send them that way and then be gone with it. Or you can put them on something called the altar of God. And the altar of God is like a giant transmutation energy thing. It's like when you put something on that altar, what happens is slowly throughout this person's life, they will get epiphanies and choices whether they could go this way or go another way, or continue the way they're going. One person asks, do you personally believe in a God? Well, I would remove the word personally because individualism is not so. We're all one. And I will remove the word believe and transmute that into no. I don't believe nor have faith in God, for I know in God, A.K.A. source. I know in source. See, belief is so fickle because people change beliefs each and every day. People go in between religions each and every day. Belief is absolutely nothing. Faith is so fickle because faith is just airy-fairy. It's not stable. And again, people change their faiths every single day. Knowingness is something that does not rattle. It does not change. It does not shift. For example, I'll always give this example, this story. When Yeshua was changing water into wine, he did not say, God, I believe this is going to happen. He did not say, God, I have faith this is going to happen. He said, I know this is going to happen. And most of the time, when a person of that magnitude, a person that understood alchemy, because all water and wine let go, all that stuff is alchemy. He was actually taught that by teachers called Essenes in a land called Qumran. Most people, when they actually do research on these things, they would find out. When people do research on alchemy or Yeshua and who taught Yeshua, all you got to do is to get down the rabbit hole of the truth of who Yeshua is. Just start looking up Yeshua's family. Yeshua came from a mother, a woman, therefore she came from somebody, therefore she had a mother, therefore she had a mother. Okay, in order for a Christ to be birthed in a bloodline, the bloodline has to be a Christ bloodline. Mother Mary is just as much the Christ as what y'all consider Yeshua, because in order to birth the Christ, you have to be the Christ. Well, in order to birth the Christ, Mother Mary, her mother, grandmother Anne, Yeshua's grandmother Anne, also had to be a Christ. And when you do research enough, you will figure out that grandmother Anne was a virgin birth, Mother Mary was a virgin birth, and Yeshua was a virgin birth. They don't tell you that in the religions. But when you do research, when you ask logical questions, this is not in any scripture. When you ask logical questions, like, if this person came through this womb and his DNA was activated by law of genetics, and this goes in between, and this is something all scientifically proven. Stuff that is in our lineage, our generations before us, carry over into this realm. LeBron James, his kids are more accustomed to being good basketball players because LeBron James is a good basketball player. It's in his genes. So if they chose to become basketball players, which they did, they will excel at it. It goes across the board. This is just scientific. So as it pertains to Yeshua, if Yeshua's DNA was activated, his literal genealogy was activated, then that stems from his family lineage. So when you look up research, not even just on the internet, not even just on one search, what people need to understand, what research really is in this new day and age, research is not just Googling things. There are 3 ways that you must operate within as it pertains to research. In this day and age, first, you use your search engines, but you cross-reference. You use Google, then you use another search engine. You go DuckDuckGo. I think somebody else said another search engine was Tor. You search what you're looking for across all three search engines, or as many search engines as possible, and then you go to many websites. You don't just go to the first three websites. You scroll down to the 10th, 20th website, and you cross-reference. People don't cross-reference. You pull up multiple websites and say, where's the information similar? Where's the information different? And you ask the why. Why is the information different? Then you leave the internet, you go to the library, multiple libraries where multiple books are in multiple different cultures, and you figure out, all right, I found this information on the internet based on these things after cross-referencing with these websites. Now I'm going to go to these books and see if anything is similar. The things that are similar in these books on the internet, I write them down. These are more closer to what truth is because it's in here and it's over there. And I cross-reference 3 different websites on 3 different search engines. This is research. I know people haven't done research. So that's why I just ignore people that just refute these quote-unquote things that I am saying, because I know you haven't done this stuff. I have. And when you do deep research, you will understand that Nadiie is saying the truth. Because I told you the first one, which is the internet. The second one is the books. After you've cross-referenced what you've learned from the internet with the books, then the last form of research is going within. It's now not relying outside of yourself. It's going within into your own Akashic energy. Because all the Akashic energy, or what they call Akashic records is the storing of all information. Well, that exists in you because by law of divinity, all is one regardless. So you are one with the Akashic records. Therefore, all information, the Akashic records, is inside of you. By law of divinity, by law of oneness. So, this is another way you remove spiritual baggage. Because the people that instantly refute. The people that instantly judge and people that instantly hate. Well, 1, when you judge another, you judge yourself. 2, when you hate another, you hate yourself. 3, when you don't understand something. See, what humans have an issue with is when they don't understand something, they either fear it or they try to dismantle it. What you must understand that serves, if you don't understand something in totality, is to question it. So you ask a question. That is how you figure out the truth. If you don't know something, ask a question. This is how you get rid of spiritual baggage, because it's only your ego. It's only your ego that is instantly hating something. Oh, this person said Jesus has a family. That's stupid. The Bible didn't say he had a family. He was a human, right? He came from a mother that came from a mother that came from a mother that came from a mother, right? You don't even need to be spiritual to understand this. You don't even need to be spiritual to understand. Most people are so brainwashed, they can't even think logically. I always tell people, make it make sense logically and spiritually. If it only makes sense spiritually, leave it alone. If it only makes sense logically, leave it alone. God is so infinite, there's a way that it can make sense both ways. There is a way. But you have to be willing to walk on that path. It's a much longer path. It's not like an instant gratification. People in this generation just want an instant gratification. That's why I can see like people that be like, oh, astral projecting isn't real. I was like, okay, that's fine. Where's the proof? DM me and I'll give you the government article, the literal declassified government article about them teaching their military operatives astral projecting called the Gateway Project. I know when people haven't researched these articles. I know when people haven't researched these classified documents. I know people that don't even know they even exist. I literally have actual proof of all these things, of spirits, about what they do, all of that. And, you know, and this is how egotistical some people are. I will send them the information. I know they wouldn't even read it because they will come back later on. All of that was lies. Okay. All right. So now there's no saving you. And in truth, no one can be saved regardless. Because we are all God. There's nothing for you to be saved from. Even Yeshua would say he healed nobody. He didn't save a single person. All he did was guide that people, that person, into seeing themselves as God seen them. That's all I'm doing. The same thing Yeshua was doing. Guiding you to see yourself in the same way that God sees you. If God sees you as a whole being, I don't care if you have a missing arm. The moment you integrate this high level perception, high level truth, that there is no possible way that I am void of anything, you will look down and your arm will materialize. But so much ego is in people's minds that they can't even process that. Even in the government article, even in the declassified document, it literally it's pages and pages of just detailed information. All the big words. It has diagrams pointing to each body part, the brain, why certain things does this, why certain chemicals come out, why they can use something called remote viewing. All of this is true because I astral project. And we experience. So the people that refute, they just are spiritually dragged down to a life of deception. Because even the people that are in your government understands this information. See, I always tell people, understand to remove yourself from spiritual baggage. Just do the techniques that we've done. But also know that everything is within you. And it comes to a point where you have to empower yourself. See, there is nothing wrong with empowering yourself. There is nothing wrong with forgiving yourself and forgiving all others. There's nothing wrong with loving yourself perfectly, not unconditionally, for unconditionally is still of duality. It says, I'm not going to be conditional, therefore I'm unconditional. That is still true, that is still of duality. Perfectly loving. It's nothing wrong with that. See, the people that still argue with people that bring forth this ideology, you hate yourself. That's just a fact, and I know the truth may hurt, but it doesn't have to. If you bring forth hates and judgments to somebody saying love yourself, you just hate yourself. And you don't have to, because we love you. So the hate that you show yourself by hating me, I'm just going to give back love to you. Because when you pray to God or Source or Allah or Great Central Sun or whatever you align yourself with as it pertains to a label to our Creator, the Creator sends you love, therefore I shall send you love. What's really egotistical is when you go to the Creator and you bring forth a person and the Creator says, I love them as equally as I love you. And then you go out and still hate that person. That's egotistical, because if all there is, God loves this person, why are you going to be so egotistical to say, no, I need them to support me in my identity in order for me to love them? You want to talk about ego? Type 33s in the chat. Type 33s in the chat if what I said makes sense. Type 33s in the chat if what I said just makes sense. These people talk about ego, yet we know that God loves all and God loves all equally. So why do you have to wait for your ego to feel satisfied in order to display love when God already loves? That's egotistical. I love each and every one of you perfectly, whether I agree or accept you or not, because God loves you. So who am I to say I don't love you if God loves you? I would never fix my mouth to say, literally, even past relationships, exes, old friends, I don't care what you did to me. I will never fix my mouth to say I don't love you, because that's egotistical, because I know the truth is God loves you perfectly. So I have to get over my own ego and recognize that God in me loves you because God, all there is, loves you. Just a fact. What we just displayed, that's hard to do. It's only hard, one, when you claim it's hard. Don't claim hardship over self. Remember, say the truth. Say it's easy to do. Even if your vessel says, still say it's easy to do. There's actually the scientific study. It was a experiment done with singers. I gotta try to see if I can find the article, but if I can't, I remember reading it. And they were saying that they brought a whole bunch of like low level like singers, right? Like average singers, like, Joe Schmoes. And they had them say, oh, I can't sing as good as this artist. I can't sing as good as Adele. I can't sing as good as Michael Jackson. I can't. They said when they were saying they can't sing as good as these people, they actually was singing worse than when they came in. But then the next few days, when we had them affirm that you can sing as good as Michael Jackson, you can sing as good as Beyonce and Adele, you can sing as good as Whitney Houston, they was singing better than when they initially came in. That is how powerful your brain is. To even take it a step further, there's something called the placebo effect in this world. The placebo effect should let you know how powerful your brain is. Literally, the placebo effect is you can trick your brain into operating in a complete different way based on what you see as valuable. That's what the placebo effect is. If I give you a sugar pill but act like it's an ibuprofen, put it in the ibuprofen bottle, and you have a headache, even though you're taking a sugar pill, your brain will register the value in what you've taken. Therefore, now your headache don't hurt no more. That's the power in your mind. So never say something is hard, even if you really feel it is. Say it's easy. Use this world's laws and the physical laws against itself. Use it. And this is facts. You can look up all of this stuff. You can really look up all of this stuff. The placebo effect, a lot of masters in the spiritual community, they would bring up some of the stuff like this, like placebo effect, to show you, yo, your brain is so powerful. Your mind is so powerful. So let's replace your headache with spiritual evolution. Let's replace headache in this example with transcending, and let's replace this ibuprofen pill with just a meditation technique. You can trick your brain. Literally, you can trick your brain into getting to Christ conscious levels by just breathing. If you can really deconstruct the ego in you, it's as simple as that. You can be like, in this next breath, I'm going to be the Christ. And if you really believe it, like there's not a doubt, not an ounce of fear, you will breathe in and gain so many downloads. It's happened to me. It literally happened to me. Multiple times. And then I got so much, I was young when it happened. I got so much information, I got scared. And when I started scaring and doubting and fearing, that it all went away. I was like, dang, but I did it though. And then as I got older, I kept practicing until I no longer doubted. See, it's okay to doubt, but recognize that that's not where you have to be. And that's not where I am. Now let me get into these comments, because that is all about spiritual baggage. This whole thing is about how to deal with spiritual baggage. So I'm going to get into these comments. Before we start getting into these comments, make sure you click the link in our bio, click Nadiie Blast Guidance. All of these lives will be posted there. Also, DM me 33 if you're interested in gaining a community of like-minded souls that are willing to change this dimension. DM me 33 because I will give you our free 3-day course. Because if you aren't willing to dedicate at least 3 days with God, why are you trying to join a mystery school? And quick update, everybody. In our mystery school, we have a cheaper tier for all of the people. We call it the transcending tier, for the people that are still, gearing up towards the spirit warrior tier in our mystery school. So we have a cheaper tier. You can join that. That gives you access to our dedicated live streams, because we're going to start rolling out live streams strictly for the mystery school. We need dedicated souls. We got a lot more people in the mystery school, but we can definitely get more. So that's why we added that cheaper tier. So you'll be able to access the chat, and you can access our live streams as well as some other monthly, very powerful information. Make sure you click that link in the bio. You can also donate if you click the link in the bio, if you so choose, if what we provide serves you. And understand, if you want to book a session, that as well is there. We need a one-on-one with me, and we make very, very beautiful music. All the music links are in that chat as well. So let me scroll up before we say our native prayer, because I am Sika, Oki Sanatapia Nuxizakoi Nisokwa. I am very, very, very ingrained within this culture. I am a medicine man. Those that understand the native tribes, they will understand the value in a medicine man talking to you. I was initiated in the astral realms I was initiated at the age of 7, one of the youngest medicine men to be initiated. So, yes, we're very, very in this. I've been working at this well before I started teaching in technology, about 7 to 9 years before I took my teachings to technology. So, yes, I live this way. So let me scroll down and see these comments. Malachi said, what he's saying is be optimistic. Exactly. Be open-minded. All I'm saying is love yourself. It's not hard. Loving yourself is not hard. Because when you love yourself enough, you love other people. The only people that have a hard time loving other people is the people that do not love themselves. I will never fix my lips to dislike another person. Or I just remember something that you do either is something I accept or not accept. That's right. A doctor did that to this lady and she sued them. See? Goddess Kimberly, she knows what I'm talking about. I'm saying the truth. Ashley, it shows how easy people's minds can be manipulated. Do not be deceived. Exactly, Ashley. That's why I'm saying empower yourself. Know these things. Speak so you think I hear you. Placebo effect. Yep. John says, I half agree. What you're doing is something challenging, accepting will be difficult, but it can be helpful. Yes. So you do agree. You don't half agree. You just do agree. Just don't think it's hard, though. And you will, quote unquote, in your words, fully agree. Brian, can you alter things in reality if you believe you can? I have a quick story about that, Brian. Yes. But a lot of these type of stories, when I say them on TikTok, they restrict them. So in the mystery school, I have more of these stories. But I will try to be as descriptive as possible. I'll give you this example. I've said it before, and TikTok didn't strike it or whatnot. Around the time when I was figuring out that I was a Christ, and I was bringing forth very, very powerful gifts on earth again, I always question. I even question God. I always question. So when I'm talking to God one day, and I was like, because we did a very particular meditation, and I clearly heard voices. And it was like very angelic, powerful voices. And I was like, if I can do this technique, then when I walk outside, I should be able to do it. Not even with my eyes closed, I should be able to do it. So I'm questioning God. I'm shooting, you know what I'm saying? So I walk outside, and it was this technique where I covered my entire body with this gold and white light. It was visualization techniques, right? I'm thinking I'm just imagining these things. I know about spirituality. I know it's real. I'm really deep into it at this point, but I still question. I did the technique. My entire body is now visualized in gold and white light. A Somalian kid come out of the car because I was in his neighborhood doing it. And he was walking towards his mother, and all of a sudden he turned around because his mother was holding his hand, and he started yanking his mother's hand, pointing, Mommy, look, Mommy, look, Mommy, look, Mommy, look, look, as I'm doing the technique where my body is glowing. When that happened, I was like, oh, snap. That was like a spiritual breakthrough. I'm like, this is real. It's very possible because you know the saying that children are very close to God, or the closest to God. It's only because they don't judge. Children see the truth. He didn't see me and say, judgment, 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 hate, hate, hate. Oh, my religion says, no, you can't do this. That's the devil. That's the witch. No. No, his innocent eyes were like, oh my gosh, a beautiful light. That reminds me of home. Mommy, look, home. So it's real. But I'm not going to lie to you, Brian. In this reality, if you lived a life, because I was doing this very early. I've been astral projected since I was 7. That's why things are easier for me. That's why I can materialize things easier on earth. But if you lived a life of 30 years learning fallacies and lies, it's going to take a while for you to undo that unless you're extremely open-minded and optimistic. Because you have to undo 30 years of information. You can undo 30 years of information in 30 years or 3 days. But it all depends on how open-minded you are. When that happened, because I already had other spiritual things happen to me. But remember, spirituality in my life has been normalized. So what would shock all of you, is like normal for me. So I need more in order for me to be, whoa. So when that happened, that was my proof. So now anytime doubt tries to come in, God be like this. Anytime doubt tries to come in, God will be like, so that one time that happened, that one time that's fake, right? That's all fake, right? This is how God talks to me. That's all fake. It checks my ego. The moment doubt and fear comes, God checks my ego. So that was fake. So when you performed that miracle in that one gathering, that was fake. So when you did this, that was fake. So when that hawk flew down and landed on your front porch after you done hawk ceremonies, that was fake. Everything is just fake, right? And my ego gets so mad and it just leaves. That's why I say something called retire the ego. We learned that from a master named Michael Murdad. Retire your ego. Orion says I did the same thing when I was a child. After I get through these comments, I'm going to do our prayer and we're going to be up and out of here. An idle mind is the devil's workshop. That's why we must deconstruct the ego. By exalting the ego, no, retiring the ego. This, where was he at? I did say as a child. Almost done. This is interesting. You made up your own religion. Do you believe in an actual God? I didn't make up my own religion. Making up your own religion is an odd choice of words to someone who just says value love, love yourself, spread love in the world, understand all is one. These are just truths. Not even spiritual truth, they're just truths. I have told you I believe not, for I know in source that which you would call God. It's a knowingness. If you don't know in source, you don't know in source. It's just that simple. It's not a religion to love. See, man wants to religiousize everything. See, religion teaches spirituality, teaches about God, and God and spirituality exists by itself. So just understand you can have direct access to God. For the prophets and masters in your own religions have direct access to God. See, religion is formed around these people that have direct access to God because they understand the value in these people's frequencies. But even these people would tell you, you too can have direct access to God, the creator. What people in our culture, the elders, they would say the great spirit. You can have direct access. So the fallacy that these dark beings distributed to the masses saying you can only just find God through religion or you can only find God through us and our direct communication is crazy. It literally is insane. It's not real. It's a fallacy. Optimistic manifestation would change your perception of reality. Exactly. That comes from Malachi. Ashley. This stems from New Age Hinduism and ancient mystery religion of Babylon. It doesn't. It actually doesn't. Loving yourself, I mean, if you want to believe that, you're going to have a very, very sorry life. Now, if you're speaking about what somebody else believes in, Ashley, then if it's of craziness, then cool. But what we're distributing, no. But if it's somebody else, if they're saying a lot of craziness, then maybe. I have to see what they said to see if what you're saying aligns with what they said. But for me, because I can speak for myself, no. Did you just say you are the Christ? Rocks the foodie. Did you say you are the Christ? I said you are the Christ because we're all one. Even this quote-unquote Christ figure that is in specific religions would say you shall do what I do and more, or greater works than I. In order to be the Christ, in order to do what the Christ did, you have to be the Christ. I mean, it's pretty simple. It doesn't require that much thought. A lot of humans, because they don't want accountability and responsibility, because a lot of humans don't want accountability or responsibility, they would say, oh, no, I can never amount to anything Jesus did, or no, I can never amount to being the Christ. That's all that says is your ego saying, I don't want power, I don't want responsibility. Because when you are the Christ, you live in a life of love. When you live like the Christ, you share, you bring forth peace. You see what I'm saying? So even if it's in the religions, he said it out of his own mouth. But people want to over complexualize things. If I say you shall do what I do and more, I'm telling you just that simple. There's no need to deep dive and analyze it. No. If I'm saying you're going to do what I do and more, in order to do what the Christ did, you have to be the Christ. So I'm not saying I am the Christ, even though I am the Christ. I'm saying you are the Christ, because we're one. And this is not something that I've said first. I mean, every master that actually loves humanity says you are more than what you're giving yourself credit to and for. Let me tell you something if I can. I went to Afghanistan 06, 08 as a combat medic, and I never believed in something until then. I believe you can do good or bad afterwards. Mon says Jesus wasn't even religious. Oh, that's my camera dying. By the will of source, that video got downloaded into my computer. I'll just let the camera die. Jesus wasn't even religious. Exactly. When you understand, yep, it got done downloading. When you understand the positioning of Yeshua wasn't even a religious person. And Yeshua, he didn't have a problem with religion. He just had a problem with the religious claims of you can only meet God in this building. That's the only problem Yeshua had with religions. You have some twisted people that want to say Jesus was against a certain type of people or Jesus was against religion. He wasn't. He just didn't like religion saying you can only find God here. That's why he would say heaven is within you in Luke 17:21. He was the kingdom of God is within you, or the kingdom of heaven is within you. Well, if heaven is within you and God exists in heaven, then what he's saying is God is in you. I mean, it's a lot. That's why I say make things make sense logically and make it make sense spiritually, because God, you know, you're involved with God when it makes sense both logically and spiritually. The only way that statement that Yeshua said the kingdom of heaven doesn't make sense is if God isn't in heaven. But because this place that we call heaven, God is in, when a person says the whole heaven, like you must really break down the whole heaven, Yeshua? Yes, the whole heaven is in you. But you mean angels? And angels are in heaven, right? Yes, Yeshua? Yes, angels are in you. Yeshua, spirit guys are in heaven, Yeshua? Yes, spirit guys are in you. Jesus, God is in heaven, right? You saying all that's in me? Yes. That's why the people that say, oh no, you can't have this, or you can't be power, or you can't be, you can never amount to, you're so sinful. All that is just the ego. That's just ego. Because the moment you accept responsibility, then you make the world a better place. The moment you start living a life of love, peace, sharing, you're living the way of what people call the Christ, or what we call God's will. He wasn't even religious. Jesus was never a part of a religion. He was just a man of God. See, most people, they care about their religions more than they actually care about God. That is a fact. Let's keep it a stack. Most people care about their religions more than they actually care about God. Because if they cared about God, if people actually cared about God, they would come to this deduction that we're going to bring forth now. When you pray to God, how do I feel when I pray to God? I feel love. I feel happy. I don't feel scared or doubtful. When I pray to God, I feel good. Okay, you feel good. You feel love, right? When you pray to God? Yes. So by that, then you should understand that God values love, for love is what you're feeling when you're going to God, right? Okay, yeah, I can see how God values love because God gives me love. Okay, then that should be your basis as it pertains to spirituality, love, not a structure, not this. So when you go to people, you ask them, are you feeling love? Do you feel like sharing love? Or do you feel insecure? Do you feel depressed? Do you feel judgmental? Do you feel colonizer energy, wanting to construct and force your will and your religion on other people? What do you feel? If they say, I feel love, I feel like sharing love, I feel like being of peace, then that's God. That should be your priority, regardless of the religion. Because if God is everywhere, if God really is everywhere, as we all know, then God has statements, guidance for all people, all cultures. People are so egotistical, they be like, if you don't speak English, you can't talk to God. No way. If you're not of this religion, you can't talk to God. Oh, no way. Huh? If you really care about God, you will focus on loving people, and you would know people are of God if their priority is loving people. That is it. That is it. There is nothing else after that. You care about religion when you try to bash other people, you try to force your religion on people, when you say, this is the only way, come here, Come, you sound like you're going into the Crusades again. Because those are the same things the people in the Crusades said. Oops. Why don't we remember where we came from? The main reason why, Molly, we don't remember where we came from is because sometimes our ego gets in the way, Molly. Most people, when I do sessions with people and we do memory regression sessions, most people, they put a limit on how far back I will go. No, I only want to know about a time. People be like, no, I only want to know a time when I was a native. But we all come from God. We all come from source, the source. When we go back far enough, we are all in the source as one. So one of the main reasons we don't remember is our own ego puts limitations on us, because if we came from God, then we will have God-like traits and God-like characteristics. When we understand that, our life tremendously changes. And our ego doesn't want that. So the ego just says, just think about when you was a native or something. I don't know. Think about when you were a farmer or something. Don't go too far back. Because if you go far back enough, you will go back to God. That's why. Somebody named Ruth says, logic and spirituality are opposites. They're not opposites. Logic is something that makes sense. Spirituality is just something that makes sense. They both just make sense. When you're in a vessel, you automatically subscribe to logic, because spirituality, what's the first few letters of spirituality? Spirit. Anything of spirituality is something that doesn't have a form. The moment you have a vessel, you automatically subscribe to the law of logic. So it has to make sense for your vessel, and it has to make sense for your spirit, spirituality. When you are in a vessel, that is, you instantly, you void yourself of spirituality when you're in a vessel. Because now you're logic. Because spirituality, literally, the first word is spirit. When you combine both your spirit and your vessel is in harmony. Understanding God is knowing that opposites and separation are not so. It's about harmony. Harmony within your way of existing. If you're harmonious, then all is well. Alrighty, everybody, we want to conclude with our prayer. Before we do, understand all lives that we make will be posted in our YouTube. Click the link in our bio. Click Nadiie Black's Guidance. You will be able to go to the YouTube page where all of these lives will be there completely for free. Hundreds and hundreds of hours of completely free content there for you. Also, understand, if you are interested in joining our mystery school, DM me 33 and I will give you our free 3-day course. Because if you are willing to integrate at least 3 days with God, why are you trying to join a mystery school? As pertains to the mystery school, we have now added a cheaper tier. And this tier is called a transcending tier for people that want to join the mystery school, but they don't at this particular moment want to do the spirit warrior tier. So we have a transcending tier that gives you access to our community chat, because we need to start coming together, communicating, because we have live streams that are being planned and other things that are being planned. Monthly techniques will be distributed to those in the transcending tiers. We have a cheaper tier for everybody. So all of the free members, you can now go to the free, cheaper tier so you can have access to our live streams. In our live streams, we'll be doing group prayers, group meditations, everything as a group. Because we have 2 or more people, you change the world. Alrighty. And for the people on YouTube, because we post all of these on YouTube, don't type in the comments your email. Just email 33thewaysessions33@gmail.com. That you're interested in getting the free 3-day course, and then I will send that to you. That's for the people on YouTube. Alrighty, everybody, we want to say this prayer and get up out your hair. Understand, click the link in the bio, join that mystery school. We got that new tier for you, and we made it all pretty for everybody. Alright, so for all the people that are interested what 333s is, It's a mudra we created. It means Hania. Hania is Hopi for spirit warrior. When you align with a spirit warrior, you're now exposing all of your wounds, because the only way to heal the wound is to expose it. It is to reveal it. When you reveal it, when you're able to see what your wounds are, you're able to transmute it. You can't get past any obstacle in life until you're willing to at least look at the obstacle. If you're running on a track field and you just are blindfolded, you will be running into things. You have to see the obstacle in order to hop over it. That's what being a spirit warrior is all about. So when you choose to invoke that which is a spirit warrior, you're talking to God. And then 33 says Christ consciousness. When you put it together, this is oneness. And then your pinky and your thumb are together, represents the eternity sign for all eternity. So it's God, Christ consciousness, oneness for eternity. Peace unto you. My name is Nadiie Black. I'm of the Seeker tribe, Blackfoot in English. We are very grateful for your presence. Let us begin. A.K.A. Pistasuki Ispamokinan. Na Kayat Sitsanan. Na Keikimut Sitsanan. Na Kokamoto Sanan. Nena Nikista. Nah 6. Kitsika Komem. Oh Tokena na Pistasuki. Na Kaikaki Masanan. Ikanapi Nistoapi. Kanisto. Thank you, Source, for guiding us to this love, to this presence, to this realization that all is one, that all is well. Continuously guide us to being in this expression, this sharing frequency, that all beings, no matter what color, no matter what tribe or culture you're from, may register and resonate with love. See, love supersedes any form of egoic information and temptation. So we prioritize that which is love today, tomorrow, and all of the days moving forward. God, continuously guide us all to seeing as you see. Continuously guide us all to being as you exist. We are very grateful to be in this presence, and we are very grateful to share this love with all peoples. By my name, I affirm this, and so it is. Alrighty, everybody. And so it is, and so it is, and so it is. Let me get an and so it is in the chat. If you're asking about questions, about pricing for anything, just click the link in our bio. When let's say you want to learn about the pricing for the sessions, click the link in the bio, click book a session. All of the information is there. Go there, see it, integrate it, and understand that all that we have serves for the benefit of all. Thank you, thank you, thank you. This will be posted later on in a few hours. Our other live that was a few hours ago, that is going to be posted pretty soon, and this will be following up. At the latest, both of these will be posted by tomorrow, but I know for sure I got some time, so this one, the last live that we just did earlier today, will be posted on the YouTube page, and then today as well. Thank you, thank you, thank you.